Right, you lovely tubers. Oh, Friday. Weekend's here. I think I'm just going to. I'm going to have a quick flirt to Yules. I'm going to see if Warren's in. Because I want to scrounge a ride on the Transalp. See if he'll let me do it. He may go no after the state the bike come back in the 500X last time. But you never know. You never know. I don't think he'll say no. And you can see the beautiful NC. And it's absolutely, even though it was miserable yesterday, it's not been bad today actually. Bit wet this morning. But, squirrel just made it there. Well, it's lovely now. It's nice, it's lovely and cool. And we're going up through Hume into Manchester, into very new road where Yules is in Manchester. Maybe have a walk around as well and see what it's like. It's great when the schools are off because the roads are so much clearer. But as I say in my last video, I was showing a quick ride on the bike and what it's like. And to be honest, it's dead easy to use. It's like you select your menus there. You select buttons. If you look on the dash, you've got an arrow here. If you look at that arrow, let me just go here because we're going straight on. He's going left, so. And there we go. Not even put my feet down. If you look at the arrow, use your select button there. And that chooses which selection within there it is. So if I select there, you can see now you change 108, 14 volts, your time which isn't set, time which isn't set, and again. And then you go to your mode, press your mode button, and it moves that bar across, as you can see now. If you look at that bar as I go down, watch that bar, now it's moving on to the trip. So if I go select on the trip, I've done 3,105 miles on the bike. So date, miles, trip A, trip B. Go mode again. So they're the standard modes, and if I drop them down now, when you go into the modes, the riding modes, you can change them on the fly, but you have to let your throttle off. So the throttle goes back to 0 in effect. And then it'll change, it'll go into it. It will still change, but you'll get a flashing red light on your dash. And like I say, brakes are good on it. You know, it's like, the brakes are very good on this bike. Front brake is very, very good. And it will stop you. You know, in any sort of condition, it's going to stop you quick enough. But, like I said on the last one, they put a 500cc bike and they put twin discs on it. And really, Honda need to just stick that extra disc on. I realise there's much more involved because there's twin linkages to the front discs. There's another caliper to go on. You know, there's different fixings that have to be changed, like the forks. There's all sorts of little changes, which cost money inevitably. But this NC, it sounds daft. They could turn this NC into a commuter come everything. They'd need to update the suspension. They'd need to update the brakes a bit. They'd need to up the power a bit. But I get Honda. They haven't really done it for that. They've really done this bike as a road travelling commuting bike. So to do tours on the road and to do commuting, you know, and that, I think that's where it's been hit. So they're trying to do it as cheap as they can, and the build qualities is very, very good on them. It is very, very good. Now, like I say, I've had 3 of the old NCs, the previous ones, and you see people comparing them and saying the old one's not as good as the new one. Well, it is. It's not got the gearing that this has got. It's not got the pickup speed that this has got. But it's got a lot of things on it that are probably a little bit better. I mean, the forks were slightly different. It was a slightly taller bike, and I think for that helped it a little bit. I mean, I'm not a tall chappy at all. You know, I'm 5'10", so I'm not tall, and I've got a short inside leg, which is 29-30 leg. But that bike did suit me. But the sides on this, I love this bike. Took me a little bit of time to get used to the fly-by-wire, because the older NCs have a cable, and they both have the benefits, to be quite honest with you. But once you first get on this, if you've got off the old NC onto the new one, the throttle response is a lot quicker. It is much, much quicker. I personally think, even though they're the same bikes, this one sounds nicer. I don't know how they've done the exhaust. The exhaust note on it sounds really nice. The height of it has took me a little while to get used to it, because it is a low bike. You know, it is a lot lower than the last one, and you sort of sit in the bike on this one. But it's the truth of it, very few of us that are doing these YouTube are really, really using these bikes to the potential. I mean, for me, its potential for me is, this costs me £16 a week to go to work on, in fuel costs. And in the UK, fuel costs are expensive. So if you get in a car, it's 40-50 quid a week. I'm saving myself a massive amount of money. I'm on a very comfortable bike. I'm on a new bike. It's warranted for 2 years, and that's what I say. The bike is under a PCP. After 2 years, I'll change it and I'll swap it for another one. And you know, if NCs get better, I'll stay on the NCs. If I suddenly go out and do a test ride on another bike, like Ice ID, I think it is, another tuber that I follow. Now, he had a Hornet, and this guy's turning right. Let's not indicate at all, eh? Sorry, mate. And he's changing his for Transalp. And it's like he said, when you put it across why he's changing it, you know, you don't know that until you get on them bikes and ride them. I mean, Warren up making me ride on this Transalp, and I'll go, expect the NC. And I may do, you know, that's the truth of it. And I may go, I'm having one. Because it will do a bit more off-road. I mean, they class it as an off-road bike, but it's not really, because the gearing's high on it. So again, it's presented at the road. Where this NC excels for me compared to many other bikes is that frunk. That frunk is just so handy. But then it's also got its negative side. And it's like when I went camping, when I went to the Wild Bad Tour. It's not hardship, it's really not hardship. Your petrol tank is under my back seat. So when you've got all your gear on there, you've then got to get it off. And just to let you know, that's how easy this bike is to jump in between traffic. And it's quite well built, the bike. It's not and this, look at this taxi, just let us stop anything getting through. Yeah, they want to get in straight away. Right, so we'll go in here now, we're going to cheat here. Oh, the mighty scooter. There we go. Come on, mate, you can do it. See where he is. I wouldn't ride a bike without gloves, like, but everyone does their own thing because it hurts when you come off. So that's what I say with it. So you've got the fuel tank underneath the back seat, and it is, when you've got a lot of gear on the back, it makes a difference to getting it off. It's a few minutes, and it's really, you think about it, it's no different than having a tank bag, is it? You've got a tank bag on, and you've got to start undoing the tank bag to actually get to your fuel tank. And that's all it is on the NC. Bit more of a faff. And there's a couple of people that I've seen that make little brackets to lift it up so that it doesn't touch the back seat, so you can actually fuel it up. Now my intention this year is to try and get a few more trips done. In the UK, I really wanted to do one in September. I wanted to go to Pecos in September. That's just not going to happen. I don't have the time to do it. And really toying with next year, because I know Richie V does his tour there, whether to text him and see what it costs next year and book one in next year with him. Because you've got that side with him as well. He's done it. He knows where to go. And although I'm not really a rider that likes following the pack, I like to do my own thing. Sometimes when you're on foreign waters and you don't know the places, he'll know the crack. He'll know some good roads to go on. You know, it's going to cost me as much doing it myself. It may cost me another 500 quid, which is paying richer. But such a nice guy. So I'm going to think about that for next year. And I'll be very surprised if I'm not on the NC when I go, because I just absolutely love the bike. And there's a few people I spoke to when I was in the Wild Bag who asked about it, and it's like I said to them quite welcome, get out and have a ride on it, go out on mine and have a ride around the lanes, because once you get on it, you'd love it. Now it's strange, I've never ridden the manual version of this, you know, but it's like I say, I just love this DCT. It's just the control of the bike, it's just untrue. You've got as much control, if not more. When you think about it, if you really read on what the DCT was about, the DCT gearbox was designed for racing. The dual clutch, so that it's changing, it's pre-prepping the gear before you go into it. And that's what your up and down paddle shifts and a lot of the racing bikes are. Now the one thing I did find about this one compared to the old one, the handlebars are definitely a little bit wider. And you could narrow it, you could put shorter ones on, but the reason for that is the switch gear on the left hand side is a lot bigger. And the switch gear on it is exactly the same as the NC1100 on it. If you go look at, I'll try and pull up some videos, if you look at the old NC controls compared to the new ones, they're narrower. And I was saying about cruise control or throttle locks. The problem now with this version, and the other thing I've actually got heated grips on this. So these grips are not like the old ones where you knock your grips on top of the throttle. It's a complete new throttle piece that sits on top of there. And a lot of the stuff just does not fit it. So I'm trying to find something or an equivalent that can give me a bit of cruise control. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can just ride your bike, but it does make a difference when you can just relax your leg. Like if I'm going to lakes tomorrow, you know, after 50 miles, I may stick it on cruise and just relax my arm. Just put my arm on the side. On a straight line, it's great. So we're pulling into Yule's now, big Triumph dealer and a big Honda dealer. And I think probably the Honda dealer took over from Hunt's, which used to be Honda, it's now Triumph. and I think we're going to go on the low road today. There we go. So, my frunk, me junk in me frunk is what that is. Let's go and have a look now, see if Warren's still here, what they've got going. Still a big what have they got these for? Hi Warren. Do you know, I nearly seen that as 5499. I was going to say I'm having it. How you doing, bud? Say hello on YouTube. Right. Lovely chat we Warren in Yules. Planted the seeds for a go on the Transalp. I've not seen them in the flesh until now. Actually quite a nice bike to look at and really comfortable. I do like the switch gear on them. Switch gear, really good one. We've got two lovely bikes here right by the side of us. A nice Norton, a nice Honda. Right, that's enough for them. We'll that's the NC1100, I think it is it? Oh no, it's a CROSSRUNNER. This is a lovely little bike, isn't it? I do like them holding shocks on that. Nice exhaust sound from it. I could always use just this exhaust tone for my bike, couldn't I? I don't know whether I like the mirrors like that on the side, the handlebar mirrors that stick on the edge, to be honest. I think in some ways you can catch when you go through, but you get used to it, don't you? You get to know how wide your bike is. That is a nice bike. Lovely old bike, isn't it? Well, lovely new bike. A lovely new bike. It's nice. 7 years old. You had it from you? No, I only got it last week. That's why it's still clean. Oh, it's going to be like mine in another week then, is it? Yeah, it's never seen rain until now, but it's going to do now. That's what I like, a proper bike rider. That is a lovely bike, isn't it? They do, I mean, that does look lovely. Oh, it's a Triumph, I thought it was Thingy.
Yeah, the guy who had it before never took it out in the rain, but I have to use it every day, so it's not going to stay like this for long.
Yeah, that's what I'm like with a bike. They're just saying that, they're for riding, aren't they? Yeah. Enjoying. Absolutely beautiful looking, isn't it? Good on you, mate. At the other side of Earlham now, we're heading towards Rixton. Now, I just fancy a little nosy, because I've seen, like here, little paths that people have gone down. There's a tiger there by the looks of it. Oh, you see, there is little dirt paths down there. We're going to go up. I'm going to carry it up here because I want to go down a road I've never been down. And there's nothing better than going down roads you haven't been down and you lived in that area for over 30 years. No, there is. Fenced off. I used to see a lot of motocross bikes. Let's just have a quick gander here. Going across here and going down here. Quite interesting to see where it goes. So it's like a little path. Oh, no. This will be great for me KLE when I go down there. Can you hear a bike down here? Let's just have a nosy. What's it like? Not very good by the looks of it. Not for the NC, I would say. What's down this lane? Are we going to get stuck? Are we going to get stuck down here? Where does it go? Don't forget I've got road tyres on this as well now. Nice flowers, isn't there? I haven't a clue where this goes. No idea in a world. Undoubtedly, get loads of motocross bikes coming down here because it's used for something, isn't it? Oh, right by the Manchester Ship Canal there as well. Be a bit of fun when it was muddy and my helmet's getting battered to bugger. It's definitely not been used much, has it? There's massive branches hanging out there. Say, no idea where this goes. We've got to try and find a way of turning round, haven't we? So the mighty NC, can it do off-road? Well, it's doing this sort of green lane, isn't it? Oh, got a bit of mud, a bit of water. Oh, that's a deep one. That's deep. That's slippy. Oh. Well, it needs washing anyway. Well, what a road, eh? What a road for christening me bike. It's never been on really anything like this. So where's it go? Where's it go? So I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop here because let's have a look round it. Oh, it's a bit mucky, isn't it? So this is a 2023 Honda NC750 DCT-X. They call it an adventure bike. Well, it's coming down an adventure, isn't it? You could call this path a bit of an adventure. And how deep is that? Well, are we going to go up there? Because the tyres on that are road based. They're really not based for off-road. They do not grip. I've had this bike now just coming up to 6 months. I've done 3,000 miles on her. Not one blemish, not one hiccup with it. Easy to use. So start it on, press your button, start it up. Your choice of mode, so if we go down here to mode, standard mode. Let's just move across. So there we are. If we look here now, let's move that black lead. You can see that moving across to there. So we're in standard mode. We drop that down. We're now in rain mode. We're now in user mode, which you can adjust to however you want, more traction, less traction. I must find out how to turn the traction off. I haven't read it. You can turn it off, but I don't think you can turn it off fully. And when you turn the bike off, it will reset to standard mode. There we go. So that's the downside with it. On the dash, it will automatically go back to its original functions. So rain mode, user mode, and sports mode. Sports mode. When you're in sports mode on this bike, it will just hold the gears a lot longer than standard or rain. It will just hold them gears. So you'll be in the higher revving range, and it will stick up there. For instance, I could be doing 70 mile an hour on this bike and it'd be in 5th gear. If I was in standard mode, I'd be doing 50 mile an hour, I'd be in 6th gear. It takes a lot to take it out of that mode. It just keeps torque on the engine at the higher rev. By doing that, you actually, the flies are after me, you're actually losing your fuel economy, although you're not losing that much, because I've had it in sports mode. It doesn't really lose that much of a difference. Standard mode, let's stick it in rain mode. The bugs are after me now. Let's knock it off. Front to the right. Front for junk, as it's known. To the left, fuel. Now inside your fuel, just to let you know as well, there's a gap when you look there between the filler and the cap. When you put your petrol hose in, make sure you're going under the second connection there, because if you put on the top, it's the overspill, so it will just overspill back in. Lift that up, push it down. This is the DCT, the dual clutch transmission. I've got a new set of trail tyres for this, which I'm looking forward to. Suspension on it is not built for off-road. That's the truth of it. It's just not. This bike is not really built for off-road. It's like this. It's undoubtedly, we can drive down these lanes, but we can't drive down these lanes as if you're on a CRF. This bike is at home when you're on the road. When you're on the road and when you're on the motorways, this will take you anywhere, and it'll take you really well. The braking on it, a twin pot caliper on the front, a Nissan, it stops the bike easily. No issues at all with it. It will stop it. I still believe it needs a second one, because it stops you, but it's soft, and they have got traction control on these, so that's another thing. They've got not traction control, traction control. It's got traction control and it's got ABS on it. ABS is what I was trying to say. It's got ABS on it, which again helps it. You will not have any issues with the brakes. Single caliper on the back, and a nice little touch with these, the little blue, you see the little, when it come out, little blue, really nice touch. You know, it just sets it off. Right angled valves on them. Now I've got some little meters to go on there, little Bluetooth connectors to go on there, which tells me my tyre pressures. Holds quite well. I put hugger, as you can see on it, and that hugger, that's only a cheap one, so it's got a pyramid, it's a cable tie that holds it in place. That has done an exceptional job on keeping all the crap off it. As you can see, the spring back down there. Cyclist, go on mate, you go through it, then I'll know how deep it is. I was going to say, you go through it and I can see how deep it is. To be quite honest with you, now I'm just using the my legs to balance the bike, because again, the GoPro actually flattens out all this lot. You can't see it. You literally, it's really bumpy this. This is where it gets funny, because you can see the grass is actually dropped down on one side. It's growing in the middle, so it's higher at one side than it is at the other. and I'm cacking myself, make no mistake on it. You know, I'm not on an Africa Twin, I'm not on something that's got all the tyres and all the suspension for it. This is very much a road suspension. It's doing well. It is doing extremely well. About balance and confidence, really. Nice flowers out at the side. Absolutely gorgeous view. Like you said, make a cracking walk, take your dog out here, it'd be fantastic. If you have a dog, that is. You can see there it slips down sideways. Now I've got no choice, I've got to keep on going because I can't turn it round. Well, I could do, but I'd have to find a bit of hard ground to turn it round on, to spin it on the stand. So it just shows you anyway, as I say, my personal view. And you know, you see loads of people doing reviews on the Honda, on the NC, that take it out for a day or take it out for a week. I've had it 6 months. I've had 4 of these up to now. I've had 3 of the older ones, the earlier NCs, and they're a capable bike. They are a very capable bike. They're just not really. I mean, again, I've got a new set of tyres for this, so that will change the grip on the bike. It's not going to change the suspension, because that suspension is bottoming out when I'm going over these. It really doesn't like this. Look at that field. Wow. As I say, when you're young, I'd have hammered it down here when I was young. And the problem is, it's when it goes dry to wet. Look at that grid as well. Wow. And this is getting a bit more slippy, believe it or not. And as you can see there now, it's pulling me over. And it's hard work doing this here. I've got to go back. I'm mad. Fancy doing this for YouTube on a £10,000 bike. I've got to be mad. I wonder if I can get over that bridge. Well, it's a lot further than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was only a few, you know, not too far, but it is where it is. Looks like it's going to be an overnighter, this one. Hope you're enjoying it anyway. And hope if you ever see this road, come down and try it. If you've got your own bike, try it. Get your blood going. Look at this. Oh, this is slippy stuff, this. I don't like this stuff. Can you see the tyres where they've been? That's the worst. It's like black oil. But just keep your revs on, just power through it. Don't ever touch your brakes on this, or if you do, touch your back, and gently. I mean, I'm covering my back brake now. And there we go. Whee, where's it taking me? Because I've literally got no grip. I've got no grip on my tyres on this. It's just slipping. And I think, you know something, that's it. We're bottling out. We're bottling out, everyone. Or should I? No, don't bottle out. You can't give up, can you? Second place is socks. Keep on going. Come on, let's see where it goes. Little wheelie? No, maybe not. That's a bit better. I think this is it. Oh, is it? No. Wow, look at that for view. And what a lovely view, eh? Couple of swans there. look elegant on the top, and they're paddling like mad on the bottom. So there's the yeah, I can see why motocross bikes like it up here. Yeah, the centre stand don't like landing there either. Yeah, I think better tyres, better suspension. Honda, you improve this a little bit, you'd have a belting all round. Put the power of the Hornet in there, or that Transalp, and I think if you'd done that, you would have oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. I knew that was going to be bad. You'd have something fighting the Africa Twin there. I've got to go back. This is dreadful, isn't it? Look at it. Hope you're enjoying this, because oh, that's as far as I'm going. That is it, people. That's what you were saying. Right, time to spin around. Fancy blocking it off like that. That is just spoiling it for people, isn't it? Let's see what she's like at turning round. She's an heavy beast. Now just think, if you had an Africa Twin here now, alright, if you're 30 or 40, super fit, you know, I'm on the wrong side of 50. Let's just stick with neutral. Put my handbrake on. Ho ho! How many bikes can do that? Right, handbrake off. Into drive. I think what we're going to do, we're going to stick in raid mode. Let's go. Right, let's go back. I hope you lot appreciate this. Comments. And if you've got an NC and you want to do it, come out and try it. Oh, here's a slippy pond. This is a slippy pond. I want to stand up, but it's that muddy. Oh, it's through. I've got through it. And I'm sweating like proverbial fat guy in a Teletubby suit. Proper enjoyed that. That's my workout this week. Don't need to go to the gym now. And well, she jumps all right. She doesn't land too well. I wonder if there's that dip there. I wonder if it's I'm gonna have a back box when I get back. It is belting. Lovely little track that. Got my blood going a bit. Just swallowed a fly. I don't know why I swallowed a fly. And I always hear, it's a strange thing as you get older, you're on the side of caution, don't you? When I was younger, it'd been like full blast, whatever he hit. Now it's like, oh, if I land and I land wrong, it's going to hurt. Well, it's going to be something's going to crack when I land on the floor, like my hip. Oh, back end went round there. Slid the back end round. And this is when you do this, weight on your front wheels. So weight over your front forks on your handlebars, exact opposite from road riding. You want to keep control over that front wheel. Just keep on going, just keep a nice steady pace on it. I mean, like I say, to use that looks nothing. That is just slippy mud. And then you're coming off. I'm on it, 80/20 road tyres. So I'm doing well, I'm doing well. I'm going to give myself, if I last, I'm going to give myself a badge. And I'm just moving my weight across as well on the bike. I'm not trying to turn it with my handlebars, I'm moving me like that. It's going to the right, so my body's going over to the left. I mean, I could go a little bit faster, but I just don't want to. I don't want to fall off. Too many brambles there. And this is just a nice peaceful speed that I know I'm going to get home and be able to drink my beer without one arm being in a cast. You see, now that's forcing me, that's what it's done. It slipped me down into unknown territory like that, and I need to now get back on that path. And you can't see it to the left hand side, there's a dip on the left hand side, and these bloody brambles that are down. Well, you probably can see more than I can because I'm just looking forward. I'm not looking down, I'm looking forward. I want to stay upright. And it's like I say, these here now, becoming like a trials rider. Quite surprised how it's like when I was at that Richie V-Do with the slow riding. Never really done that, to be honest. Even though I've been riding bikes all my life, it's always been riding fast. And that slow riding event was really good. I was overwhelmed with myself getting 33 seconds on it. And I'll tell you what, I'm surprised how good the DCT gearbox is for riding slow. How controllable it is, because it is very controllable. You keep your back brake covered, you keep your revs on, you can keep quite good balance, and it's just practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. That's how anyone gets good at anything. Whatever you do in life, don't ever think you can't do it. You can, you've just got to practice. And you've just got to keep on practicing and not give up. So if you do something, you keep on doing it until you're successful. And the more you do it, you will become successful. I mean, in fairness, it's like, this YouTube is new to me and it's a hobby. I could not put a video together. I probably still can't, to be honest, when you look at them. But I can, because I've gone from a very basic Windows editor and then now I'm CapCut. And I'm learning different things that I can do. And because you build confidence. And because you're learning things, you get better. And that's what you've got to do. I mean, you should strive for perfection. You should really do. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes it doesn't happen for you, and that's life. You know, that's why we are all unique. We've all got